went and counterfeited millions of ruble notes, and he brings it to the Minister of Treasury in Russia, time of the Tsar, and he wants to cash in the notes because the notes are so big, a regular bank can't cash in the notes. So he presents the notes to the Minister of Treasury. The man gives a look at it, one glance. He says, okay, here, he gives him a few kopecks. So he says, kopecks? I give you millions of rubles, and you give me a few kopecks. He says, don't you realize it's counterfeit? It's counterfeit what you gave me. It's counterfeit. It's perfect. Show me why is it counterfeit? So he said, the truth is, for presenting counterfeit bills, you deserve to be taken for a firing squad and shot. So you should be happy that I'm giving you kopecks because factually it's not worth the paper it's printed on. She says, tell me, how do you know it's counterfeit? It's very simple. Because it's known that a legitimate ruble note, if you hold up the paper to the light, you see the watermark of the Tsar. This paper doesn't have the watermark of the Tsar. Therefore, I know it's counterfeit. So Chofetz Chaim says, a person who believes in Yud Gimel Ikrei Emunah, the 13 tenets of Jewish faith, it's not a Russia. So the mitzvah is imprinted with the watermark of Hashem. If it's imprinted with the watermark of Hashem, that's the real note. The real note is Schar B'Alma Leko. Person does chesed, humanitarian, he has rachmanos on a dog, on whatever it may be, it's not connected, it doesn't have that watermark, doesn't have the mark, it has limitation, therefore you can be paid off in this world. That's the Chofetz Chaim answers. So, but that answer is only sufficient if he did the mitzvah when he was a heretic. What if he originally did the mitzvah as a maimon, then he became a heretic? So the mitzvah originally he had done it had that imprint. So seemingly it doesn't cover that particular situation. So Yisrael says that a person goes and he has a portion reserved for the king. It's not for sale. The person says, I'm willing to pay anything for it. Even $1 million, man says it's not really worth $1 million. So it doesn't make a difference. I have so much money, I'm happy because I want it, I'm going to pay. The person who's a Russia who doesn't believe in Olam Haba, he's willing to give it all up for this world. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, whatever you want the exchange to be, that's going to be the exchange. That's Rabbi Yisrael's Lanter. Okay? So that covers every case. So when he becomes a Russia, he's happy to take whatever they give him because the world to come to him has no value whatsoever. So I was thinking this. The Ramosh Dvir writes, and we learned this in Talmud Torah, that one of the Yud Gimel Midas Harachim is Nosei Ovon Fesh V'Chato. Hashem carries Ovon V'Fesha, the deliberate sin, the Pesha and the Chato, the defiance and the inadvertent. So he explains everything in existence it only could exist because Hashem is Mechayif. Hashem wills it should exist. A person is an Aveira. So when you do an Aveira, what does it create? It creates a force, a negative force. That negative force is a lethal force. Really, it should kill the person. Except, but if it would kill the person can't go on beyond that point. The person can't do tshuva. There's no follow-up. So what does that Kodesh Baruch Hu do? Midas Racham says, I don't expect you to be the one to carry it, because otherwise it would have to attach the person's neshama, and the chiyus for that negative force would be the person's life. That would sustain it, and the person would die from it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, for the sake of you doing tshuva, so whatever, I will carry it. The Ovum Fesh Chato. So therefore, pshat's like this: Schar b'hayal maleko. In terms of the physical exchange, there's no exchange. Relatively speaking, in the physical world, there's not enough time, or what I could give you, to compensate for what that is. Schar b'hayal maleko. What about if you created a negative force, which is a spiritual force? And the only way this force could be dissipated, or could be sustained, is by another spiritual force. And what is that spiritual force? That's the schus. That's the schus of the Russia. So the schus of the Russia carries, because Hashem says, you're Russia, I'm not carrying you. You, I'm not carrying. Because you, I want you to go into the oblivion. So how is he going to sustain himself? How does he go beyond that point? The answer is, his schus, the schar that he has, for the mitzvah that he has, that schar will sustain that negative force, and by the time that negative force is addressed, there's nothing left, then he goes into the oblivion. So his schus is the equivalent of the Nosei Ovam Fesh Chato. That's what I explained. Here. David, what do you say? And I'm telling what the Ramak says. This is a reality. That's the Midas HaRachmim. No se overfesh chato. If he doesn't carry it, then the person dies. It can only be delayed, but how do you contend with the force? He can only delay punishment, but there's that force. Who's sustaining that force? HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to sustain that force. The example is given: a person goes and fathers a mamzer. Then he goes to the community. Says, "I want you to support my mamzer." He says, "You created. You support your own mamzer. We have to support your mamzer." You create this lethal negative force. I should carry it for you. Carry it yourself. That's right. The person would die. Not there would be a bechira. You had bechira once. Exactly. So there's no world. Exactly. There's no world. That's why originally it was precious for Elokim. Then it became Hashem Elokim. That's the Midas HaRachmim. Without Midas HaRachmim, the world can't go on. Exactly for this reason. For Howard, there's a review. This is Chazor, because I said it yesterday in the Ramchal. What? Nobody says that. This is not correct. The day that you leave from, you become a subject of death. That's what it means. Moshe's waiting for his pulpit, so he should be able to say that. I got it. Okay. Left off Yud Zayin. Ki Seitzei ben Asnua Yakir. The Bechor, the firstborn of the despised wife, he has to acknowledge. Loses lo p'nishnayim. To give him, he receives the double portion of the Bechor. B'chol hashi yimotze lo. Only the assets that are in his possession when he dies. You understand? Let's say people owe him money or an inheritance which comes later. Right? Although the children inherit, but since it was Yimotzelo when he died, it wasn't as part of his estate, then he gets a single portion. Why does he receive? Because he's the first of his strength, therefore he is worthy to receive the laws of Bechor. Rashi, Pishnayim, Keneged Shnei Achim. He gets the equivalent of portion of two brothers. Roy means it's meant to come. It's meant to come into the state after the father passes away.
People like that today?
Sure.
The firstborn.
That's there's a way to work it out, which means it has to do with the way you write your will. Once the person dies, you can't tamper with it. But you could pre-designate before you die that the assets transfer right before you die. So you leave over a little bit to fulfill the mitzvah of Pishnayim, but not to differentiate between children, so then you give that before you die. So like you're gifting it, you do during in your lifetime, you gift whatever you want. Okay? Ki elish bein tzorel moreh. A person who has a bein. So, sorel moreh, Rashi soreh, sorben de moreh, misar v'dibri oviv. He's defiant. He's going off the path, and he's defiant. He doesn't listen to the voice of his father and mother. Yisro also. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, Yisro also, so the parents bring him to Bezdin, and they give Malkus. Yisro means to give Malkus. Lo Yishma Aleim. And again, he's a repeated offender. Rashi, Yisro also, Masun Bo B'fnei Shlosha, Malkin also. Ben Soro Moreh, Eno Chayev, Achiyignov, V'yochal Tarmit Abosar. He has to steal from his parents. He has to eat a certain measure of meat. He has to eat. He has to drink half a pint of wine. He's acting gluttonous. Why is he put to death? A person not put to death for stealing and for being a glutton. Because Torah ultimately sees where this is headed. Ultimately he'll consume his parents' money. And he's trying to support his habit, and he's not able to support his habit. We're talking about a drug addict. So he stands at the crossroads, and he goes and he victimizes people, and he kills them. If he has to kill, he will kill. Better he should die, relatively speaking, innocent from a capital crime, for murder, rather than culpable, liable for because he's become a murderer. So this question, it's a famous question that Sifsacham asks. The story with Yishmael. He's dying of thirst. Remember the story of Yishmael? So the Malachim, they said ultimately his descendants are going to kill your children. So you shouldn't perform the miracle that he should be able to survive. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Malachim, is he tzaddik or Rosh at this moment? Is he a tzaddik or Rosh? Say tzaddik. So he's judged based on the present, not on the future. So Ben Sora Moreh, he's not a murderer. And here we were saying Al Shem Sofo, right? So what would you answer?
It's never happened. This is the only way for us to learn.
I understand. No, that's only because it's a technicality. But factually, it's never Al Shem Sofo. It's setting forth a principle. Over there, what did Yishmael do over there? He didn't do anything wrong. Here he already stole. The stealing for this is connected to the future. Right?
Yeah, but still not
No, I understand. No, I understand. There's no linkage to his children killing Yitzchak's descendants.
Right.
Here, the reason why he's going to be a murderer, and he's going to victimize people because he's supporting his habit that he's created, that he's done already. He's already on the path. I'll give you an example. A person shoots a bullet, and it misses its target, and he shot the bullet to kill a person. And if he shoots a second one, he's going to kill that person. Do you shoot the person who's going to shoot the second bullet before he shoots the second bullet? Because he already shot the first bullet to kill, you understand? Say, well, let's say the first bullet only penetrated to a degree, he has to shoot a second bullet to penetrate further. That's exactly what the Ben Sora is. Right? He's done something to be that.
Yeah, but it's still the future. You're still talking
No,
the future.
but there's a linkage here. There's no linkage.
I link it, but it's still not.
Exactly, because it's already expressing itself. Puerto Rico, they send it to the swamps. That's all.
Well, why not Asaph then? Why not Asaph? Asaph did, he was doing pretty bad stuff, and his descendants are going to kill us. Why wasn't he killed?
Where does he Hashem perform miracles faced with this performing a miracle? A miracle. Hashem said, right? Hashem performed a miracle on behalf of Yishmael that he didn't die of thirst.
Right.
So they said, but he look what his descendants are going to do.
So the law of this thing should have told by, he should have been.
We're talking about person steals. This is not an unusual situation. It's a principle. You always link the present to the future. You could say something else. There was his descendants. There was his descendants.
There were.
By Yishmael, wasn't him.
Right.
He says, but what is he? Is he tzaddik or Rasha? Regardless, what his descendants are going to be. But it seems if he would have been a Rasha, then Hashem wouldn't have performed the miracle because of his descendants. Right?